So I think I have time for one more question. I wanted to ask you about what you personally took away from the questions that were raised about Afro-Latino representation in the main cast for the film adaptation of In the Heights.
Yeah, it was on my mind for years leading up to the production of the movie, in fact, because in my 20 years as a playwright, I have had the real pleasure. One of the things I love about being a playwright is you create jobs. And I've had the real pleasure to create jobs and roles, and hopefully really good roles for extraordinary Latino actors in my plays. Afro Latino, brown Latino, indigenous Latino, white Latino. That's one of actually the things I'm proudest of in my body of work. Um, but having been in those casting rooms, I also am familiar with how it's so easy for institutions and processes to lean towards whiteness. Um, so part of what I did leading up to that process and I had never done a movie before, so I didn't know what to expect. Playwrights and screenwriters don't have the same casting power in film as they do in theater. But I knew I would have a voice in the room. And so the first thing I did was I wrote the character of Nina to be purposefully Afro-Latinx so that they couldn't cast it otherwise. It would just have been inappropriate to the role. But looking back on it now, and I really feel strongly and passionately that I love our cast and they did such a phenomenal job. And I love our movie and I'm very, very proud of that movie. But I do see with hindsight that it was my first movie, and I recognized two and maybe three times when I could have been louder in the room. And I regret, I was a little loud. My husband and my agent assure me, they're like, you were kind of loud, but I could have been louder. And so, what my personal takeaway, and I regret those moments and I apologize to the community for those moments. But my takeaway is then I got to do better next time. And I know I have decades of work of doing really well behind me that I can call on and, just raise my voice a little louder when I need to.